You've done it. The vacation is finally here. You've counted down the days, you've booked the resort, you've watched way too many YouTube videos, and you've mentally checked out of work sometime around last Tuesday. Now you're picturing yourself walking through that beautiful lobby with a cold drink in your hand, wondering which restaurant you're going to try first. And honestly, that's exactly how you should feel. But after checking into dozens of all-inclusive resorts over the years, we've learned something. The first few hours of your vacation can quietly determine how relaxed the rest of your week feels. Not because anything dramatic happens, but because there are dozens of little decisions that either make everything easier or create little frustrations that follow you for the next 7 days. We've learned many of these lessons the hard way. We've missed reservations, we've unpacked an entire suitcase only to move rooms an hour later, we've paid way too much for sunscreen because we forgot it at home. And we've wandered around a resort hungry because we had no idea which restaurants were actually open. So today, I'm going to walk you through exactly what we do, starting before we even leave home, right through to our first dinner. I'm Nancy from New Travel Escapes, and whether this is your very first all-inclusive or your 15th, every single piece of advice I'm sharing today exists because at some point, we did the opposite. Sometimes it cost us time, sometimes it cost us money, and sometimes we missed out on experiences that we'll never get back. So think of this as the guide we wish someone had handed us before our very first all-inclusive. I know, the title of this video is all about your first day at the resort, but in our house, the first day actually starts about 72 hours before our flight, because that's when we stop assuming everything's taken care of and we start double checking. Every destination has slightly different entry requirements. Some countries require electronic immigration forms. Some require tourist cards or visas. Others charge environmental or tourism taxes before you travel, while others collect them when you arrive. And those requirements can change. Just because you visited a country 2 years ago doesn't necessarily mean everything is exactly the same today. So a few days before every trip, we always check the current requirements for both the country we're visiting and the airline we're flying. It only takes a few minutes, and it can save you a lot of unnecessary stress at the airport. Airports are stressful enough. Once everything is completed, don't rely on just one copy. We keep digital copies on our phones, and we take screenshots of anything important in case I lose internet access, and we also carry printed copies of anything that we think we might need. Will you use the paper copies? Well, hopefully not. But if your phone battery dies, if your airline app decides not to cooperate, or airport Wi-Fi isn't working, having a printed backup can sometimes save the day. And here's one little trick that's made our airport days much smoother. Whiskey Snob organizes every document in the order that we'll need it. Passports first, boarding passes, immigration forms, tourist cards or visas, transfer information, hotel confirmation, etc. That way, we're not standing at immigration scrolling through hundreds of emails while a line of impatient travelers forms behind us. Trust me, future you will appreciate those extra 5 minutes of organization. So about those 3 days before our trip, this is the exact checklist we go through. First, we confirm everyone's passport is packed and that it doesn't expire within the required time frame for our destination. Next, we complete any immigration forms, tourist cards, visas, or travel authorizations that are required. Then we check our airline reservation one last time. Have there been any schedule changes? Can we check in online? Have our seats been changed? Next, we reconfirm our airport transfer. One quick email or message on the app gives us peace of mind that someone will actually be waiting when we land. If the resort has an app, this is when we download it. Now, some resorts even let you complete part of your check-in before you arrive. If that's an option, it can save you valuable vacation time. Then, we charge every portable battery, camera battery, tablet, and e-reader. Nothing's worse than boarding a 6-hour flight only to discover your battery's already at 12%. Finally, we screenshot everything, like I was telling you earlier, just in case. Boarding passes, transfer confirmations, hotel confirmation numbers, maps, reservation numbers, anything we'd normally need the internet to access. It's one of those things you hope that you never need, but you'll be glad you have it if the technology decides to stop cooperating by the time we're finished. There are very few surprises left on travel day, and that is exactly how we like it. So now you've landed, you made it through immigration, you've collected your luggage, and you're standing outside the airport looking for your transfer. One of the best decisions you can make, especially if you're traveling with children or staying for more than a few days, is booking a private transfer. Not because it's luxurious, because it gives you flexibility. Not only does it get you to the resort as soon as possible without making a bunch of stops along the way, whenever possible, I try to book a company that allows a stop at a store before arriving at the resort. That simple 15 to 30 minute stop can save hours and money. And with the cost of airline luggage these days, checking that extra bag might cost you more than what's in the bag itself. There's a ton you can pick up during a quick stop at a local store. Sunscreen, after-sun lotion, bug spray, diapers, swim diapers, baby wipes, medications, electrolyte packets, maybe a few drinks or treats for the room. Yes, the resort gift shop will probably have most of those things, but you'll almost certainly pay resort prices for them. During one trip, we desperately needed antihistamine cream and Benadryl after dealing with bed bug bites. The resort gift shop had exactly what we needed, thankfully. But we paid $45 for a package of 10 Benadryl tablets. We laugh about it now, but at the time, it definitely wasn't funny. If you're traveling with a couple of young children who still need swim diapers or diapers, then this stop is going to save you having to pack that extra suitcase. Just something to consider. Years ago, we packed our carry-on for the flight. Now, we add some things in for the resort. Because if your flight arrives around lunchtime, there's a very good chance your room won't be ready. When you arrive at the resort, that is. That means your checked luggage disappears for a few hours while your vacation has already started. So our carry-ons always include everything we'd need to enjoy our first afternoon without ever opening our suitcase. Our swimsuit, flip-flops, sunglasses, a small carry-on size sunscreen, maybe some Tylenol if we need it, a phone charger, a portable battery, our hat, a reusable water bottle, and if you're traveling with the little ones, a complete change of clothes and a few snacks. One little tip we've learned, don't bury your swimsuit underneath everything else. Ask me how I know. Let's just say that I've unpacked an entire carry-on backpack in an unair-conditioned resort washroom before finally finding it. I only made that mistake once. So now your transfer pulls up to the resort. The lobby looks exactly like the photos. Someone hands you a welcome drink. You can hear the ocean in the distance. Vacation mode officially kicks in. But before you head straight for the pool, there are a few things at check-in that can make the rest of your week a whole lot easier. By now, you've arrived at the resort. The bell staff has taken your luggage. You've got that welcome drink in your hand. And if you're anything like me, you're already looking past the lobby, trying to catch your first glimpse of the pool. This is where it's really tempting to nod politely while someone explains everything at check-in. But this is actually one of the most important conversations you'll have all week. You don't need to memorize every detail they're telling you. Don't get me wrong. You just need to ask the right questions. The first question I always ask is there anything that I need to reserve today? Not tomorrow, today. Some resorts don't require reservations for anything. Others only require them for a few specialty restaurants. And then there are resorts where popular restaurants, teppanyaki tables, hydrotherapy sessions, romantic beach dinners, cabanas, or chef tasting menus can fill up really quickly. If there's something you've been looking forward to, don't assume you can book it later. Take care of it while you're already standing there. If your plans change, you can usually adjust or cancel your reservation, but it's much harder to book something that's already full. Don't forget to ask what and when things are closed. This one surprises a lot of people. Just because a resort has 8 restaurants doesn't necessarily mean all 8 are open every night, especially during slower travel seasons. Some restaurants rotate throughout the night, others close for maintenance. Sometimes weather changes outdoor dining plans. We actually missed out on one of the meals we were most looking forward to at Excellence Coral Playa Mujeres. They have a wonderful family-style prime rib dinner, but it's only offered on certain nights. We assumed we'd just book it later in the week as we got settled, and by the time we realized it, we'd already missed it. Well, lesson learned. Don't just ask what restaurants the resort has, ask when they're actually open. It's not a huge problem as long as you know ahead of time. So before you leave the front desk, simply ask, is there anything you recommend I reserve right now so I don't miss it during our stay? That one question can save a lot of unnecessary disappointment later. Most resorts do have apps that you can download in advance of arriving, but some resorts don't. You can only download them from a QR code at the check-in desk, so download it as soon as you've checked in. Honestly, resort apps have come a long way, and most of them include restaurant hours, daily activities, maps, dress codes, show schedules, spa information, and sometimes even room service menus. So some even let you message the concierge directly. Spend 5 or 10 minutes getting familiar with the app. You'll probably use it every day. But, and this is important, don't assume it's always right. We've seen restaurant hours that weren't updated, entertainment moved because of weather. We didn't know where it went. Activities got canceled. New events added at the last minute. So one resort even showed a restaurant as closed while we were literally sitting inside eating dinner. Technology's wonderful until it isn't. When the app doesn't have the answer, ask a person. Now, this might be one of the biggest lessons that we've learned over the years. Apps give you information. People give you insight. Some of our best experiences have happened simply because we asked about them. A bartender told us about a tasting event that wasn't advertised anywhere. A hostess mentioned a special menu that wasn't listed on the app. A concierge suggested arriving 15 minutes early for a show because seating filled up quickly, and it sure did. Those little conversations often lead to the best surprises. So if you're wondering whether something has changed or you're deciding between two restaurants, don't be afraid to ask the staff. The resort staff usually know far more than any app ever could. Now comes the exciting part. You open the door to your room, you take a deep breath, and for just a moment, enjoy it. Whether it's a simple junior suite or the nicest room you've ever stayed in, that first walk into your vacation always feels pretty special. Then, before you unpack a single thing, just take 5 minutes to inspect the room. I know it's probably not the first thing that you want to do, but it can save you a lot of frustration later. Turn on the air conditioning, make sure it's cooling properly, and it will go as low as you want it to. Run the shower. Check that you have hot water. Flush the toilet. Open the minibar. Is everything stocked? Test the safe. Make sure it locks and unlocks properly and that the batteries in it work. Check that the balcony door locks securely. Open and close the curtains. Plug in your phone charger to make sure the outlets work. Take a quick look around for anything that needs attention. A dripping faucet, maybe something's broken. Maybe the towels are missing. Maybe the coffee maker isn't working. We actually learned this lesson the hard way. Years ago, we arrived at a resort, opened the door, loved the room, and immediately we unpacked everything. I was bound and determined to settle in. Clothes in the drawers, toiletries in the bathroom, chargers plugged in, the whole works. Then we realized the air conditioning wasn't working properly. Maintenance came to take a look, but unfortunately it couldn't be fixed, so the resort offered to move us to another room. Great news, except we just spent 20 minutes making ourselves completely at home. So ever since then, we've had one simple rule. We don't unpack until we've tested the air conditioning, shower has hot water, the safe works, we make sure everything's working the way it should. 5 minutes of checking can save you from packing twice. We also always check for bed bugs before we unpack. Learn that one the hard way. If you don't know how to check for bed bugs, I'll link our video right here because even at a luxury 5-star property, I will never open my suitcase again without checking. Once you've unpacked, settle in and spread your belongings throughout the room. Moving becomes a much bigger inconvenience. Thankfully, most resorts are excellent about resolving little issues quickly, but they can only fix what they know about, so let them know as soon as you can. This is also the perfect time to make a few requests. One thing we've learned over the years is don't wait until you need something. If you like extra pillows, ask now. You need additional towels? Ask now. You want more coffee pods for the room? Traveling with children and need a crib, extra hangers, a blanket, more bottled water? Take care of it while you're already getting settled. Just call the front desk, give them a list of what you need. Most resorts are happy to help, and then they can bring it while you're already unpacking. And if it's much easier to have everything delivered while you're heading out to enjoy the afternoon than waiting until you're getting ready for bed. Now unpack just enough. Now, I know this might sound a little strange, but unless you're absolutely sure you're staying in that room, I don't unpack everything immediately. If there's any chance you've requested a room change and they're checking, maybe you'd prefer a higher floor, or if you're waiting to see if an upgrade becomes available, just unpack what you need for your first day. If, of course, you've requested to move maybe. We've learned that lesson the hard way. There's nothing quite like unpacking an entire week's worth of clothes only to get a phone call saying, "Good news, your preferred room is now available." It is wonderful news, right up until you're stuffing everything back in your suitcase to have the bellhops lug it across the property. Now, assuming that you haven't already done this while you're waiting for your room, take a quick walk around before you head to the pool. I know, pool's calling your name, mine too. But before you settle in for the afternoon, take 10 minutes to get your bearings. Find the nearest washroom, find the towel station, the coffee shop, the buffet, the beach access. It's usually a bit of a walkway. The main pool, and then which one's a quiet pool, if there is one. Every trip, Whiskey Snob's first mission is to find the coffee. Mine is learning the resort because I can get lost in a hallway. And there's a reason. One morning at TRS Yucatan, we agreed to meet for coffee when he was done filming for the morning. Fair enough, except I took one wrong turn. I don't know if you've ever been to TRS Yucatan, but then I took another wrong turn and another wrong turn, and 20 minutes later I was completely lost. Meanwhile, Whiskey Snob was patiently waiting with 2 coffees, wondering where I had disappeared to. TRS Yucatan is beautiful, but it's also a very large, wandering tropical resort. And ever since then, I make a point of learning the layout on the first day, actually probably the first hour. It makes the rest of the week so much easier. It kind of fills my time while I'm waiting for the room to be ready. And trust me, tomorrow morning you'll be glad you already know where everything is, because nothing makes a resort feel bigger than wandering around hungry with wet flip-flops looking for that morning coffee. One of my favorite things to do after we've explored a little bit, we've settled in, is to simply find 2 comfortable chairs, order a drink, and do absolutely nothing. You've earned it. Vacation doesn't officially start when you check in. It starts when you stop looking at your watch. My last bit of advice is to keep your first dinner simple. This one surprises people. If the resort has an incredible chef's table or a special wine pairing dinner, I usually don't book it for the first night. Why? Because travel days are really unpredictable. Flights get delayed, luggage takes longer, transfers run late. Sometimes you're simply more tired than you expected to be. Our first dinner is usually somewhere relaxing. No rushing, no pressure, just a nice meal and a chance to settle in and start getting into our vacation mode. Save those really special experiences for the second or third evening. You'll enjoy them a lot more. Now, before you close the curtains on the day, maybe step out onto your balcony for a minute and take a big breath of the ocean air. Or take one last walk down on the beach. Listen to the waves. Take a deep breath, because after all the planning and all the researching and all the packing, all the settling in, you're finally here. Tomorrow, you'll start exploring everything the resort has to offer. Tonight, just enjoy the feeling that you've arrived. The first day of an all-inclusive isn't about trying to do everything. It's about setting yourself up so the rest of your vacation feels effortless. A little planning before you leave home, a few smart decisions when you arrive, and about an hour getting familiar with the resort can save you from countless little frustrations later in the week. We've learned these lessons over dozens of trips, sometimes the easy way, and more often than not the hard way. Hopefully they help make your next vacation just a little smoother. Now, I would love to hear from you. What's the one thing you always do on your first day at an all-inclusive that makes the rest of your vacation better? I'm always looking for new ideas, and I have a feeling that our viewers have a few great tips of their own. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. We have hundreds of resort reviews, comparisons, room tours, restaurant guides, and travel tips designed to help you choose and enjoy your next all-inclusive vacation. Remember, we are not influencers. We stay anonymous, we pay for all of our own trips, and our goal is simply to share with you our experiences at different resorts, giving you the information we would want to know before spending thousands on a vacation. Thanks so much for watching. Be kind to yourselves and to others. Have fun planning your all-inclusive vacation. Have a great week, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.